Dwight David Eisenhower was born on October 14, 1890, in Denison, Texas, but his childhood was rooted in Abilene, Kansas. Raised in a tight-knit, hard-working family, Ike, as he was affectionately called, was instilled with values of integrity, humility, and service. The son of a deeply religious mother and a stern but fair father, Ike learned early the value of discipline. From a young age, Eisenhower had a competitive spirit and an easygoing nature, which made him both a leader and a friend. His love of history and military stories eventually led him to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. Although he faced challenges there, Eisenhower graduated in 1915, ready to serve his country. In 1916, Eisenhower met Mamie Dowd. Their courtship was swift, and they married that same year. Mamie became his closest confidant, supporting him through the highs and lows of his military career. In 1941, as World War II raged, Eisenhower caught the eye of senior military officials with his intelligence and organizational prowess. Promoted rapidly, he became a major general by 1942. General George Marshall, recognizing Ike's strategic mind and ability to coordinate complex operations, selected him for an unprecedented role, Supreme Commander of Allied Forces in Europe. Eisenhower's first test was Operation Torch, the Allied invasion of North Africa. He had never commanded troops in battle, yet his ability to manage a coalition of Allied forces quickly became apparent. It was a baptism by fire, but Eisenhower proved himself, coordinating an assault that would lead to the eventual expulsion of Axis forces from North Africa. By 1944, Eisenhower faced the most daunting challenge of his career, Operation Overlord, the Allied invasion of Normandy. It would be the largest amphibious assault in history, a meticulously planned strike that required every ounce of Eisenhower's skill, diplomacy, and unshakable resolve. With the weight of the free world on his shoulders, Eisenhower prepared for every eventuality. In private, he drafted a note taking full responsibility in case the mission failed, a testament to his sense of duty and courage. On June 6, 1944, D-Day commenced. Under relentless fire and brutal conditions, Allied troops broke through German defenses, paving the way for the liberation of France. Eisenhower's careful planning and calm under pressure had succeeded, marking a pivotal moment in the war. After the war, Eisenhower served briefly as president of Columbia University, but his heart remained in public service, and in 1950, he accepted a role as the first Supreme Commander of NATO, helping to defend Europe against the growing Soviet threat. His leadership and strategic insight made him a popular figure in both the US and Europe. By 1952, calls for Eisenhower to run for president were overwhelming. Despite his reservations about politics, Ike agreed. With his I Like Ike campaign, he won the election in a landslide, promising to lead America with the same principles of duty and honor that had guided him throughout his life. As president, Eisenhower brought a steady, measured approach to the White House. He inherited a country gripped by Cold War fears, domestic segregation, and the spread of communism abroad. Eisenhower believed in a balanced approach to foreign policy, emphasizing diplomacy but prepared for defense. Eisenhower was a champion of peace, proposing his Atoms for Peace initiative to prevent nuclear proliferation. But he also understood the need for a strong military. His administration maintained containment of communism and avoided direct conflict, marking a period of relative stability. At home, Eisenhower's presidency saw the burgeoning civil rights movement. Although a cautious supporter of civil rights, he made a pivotal decision to enforce desegregation in schools, sending federal troops to Little Rock, Arkansas. In 1957, to protect African American students, a bold move at a time when few presidents had acted so directly. As he prepared to leave office, Eisenhower issued a farewell address that would resonate through history. In his speech, he warned the nation of the dangers of the military-industrial complex, an unprecedented caution from a career military man. Eisenhower spent his retirement years in Gettysburg, reflecting on a life of service. Despite the challenges and sacrifices, he remained proud of his contributions, both as a military leader and as president. His calm leadership, humility, and steadfast patriotism had steered the nation through some of its most perilous times. In his final years, Eisenhower remained optimistic about America's future, believing deeply in the strength of its people. He passed away on March 28, 1969, leaving behind a legacy of courage, integrity, and a commitment to peace.